Good Thursday night, New York Jet fans and NFL fans. It is November 16th, 2023, 10:10 p.m., and Week 11 of the NFL season is underway in Baltimore, where the Ravens leave the Cincinnati Bengals 21 to 10. The big story here: a lot of injuries. Um, um, Lamar Jackson was hurt earlier, looked like an ankle injury. He is back. But Joe Burrow, there was a picture of Joe Burrow getting off the plane in Baltimore. I guess it was either yesterday or this morning. I'm not sure when they got in there. And as he was walking, there was a brace across his hand, some sort of mechanism or gadget. Um, the team actually pulled that picture down, that video down. Tonight, it looked like he threw the ball. He just bent over in pain. Um, I think he was hit to play prior to that. Then he was tossing the ball on the sidelines. Again, bent over, and you could almost hear him scream through the TV. Second half has started. He is not playing, but he is on the sidelines wearing the earpiece. So I'm not sure what it is. I haven't had a report yet, but this is huge because the Bengals are 4-5, and their backup quarterback. I can't see his last name. Bookings. I don't even know. He's only attempted maybe 5 passes this whole season. Browning. Um, he connected on his first pass tonight earlier when we were in the second quarter when Burrow got hurt. I'm sorry. I'm a little monotone tonight. I'm you know just thinking about this season and what it could have happened, where we are, where we could go, and probably where we're going. You know, I hate to be the one that sulks. I hate to have that same old Jets mentality. I really never get into it, even when the Jets are, a team that's going 4-12 or 3-13 or 1-15 or whatever. I always watch every week. I always, put the colors on. I wear the colors 365, 24/7. But it has been an exhausting 10 weeks of football. The Jets have played 9 games. I'm looking at what I had them predicted at. And I had them right now at 5-4. Okay, they're 4-5. I had them beating the Cowboys. I lost to the Cowboys, and the Cowboys have shown that they could play. And I had them losing to the Eagles. They beat the Eagles. I did have them beating the Chargers and the Raiders, and they dropped 2 games that they could easily have won. The Raider game more than the Charger game, but they were in both of those games, and that's what hurts. These wins that you give away, and it all starts on the field. Um, you could always say, "Oh, they prepared well in practice." They were looking on the field is where it counts. In between the white is where it counts. And again, I do a lot of analogies. I do a lot of cliches, but look at me. I'm just not into it tonight. I'm really not into it, and I think, and I'll get into it, of why I'm not into it. Oxymoron there, but it starts with the play call. It starts with executing the play. Now, I know every play is made for a certain reason. You have a short run play to pick up a first down. You have, short passing plays. You have check downs and whatnot. Not every play is designed to go 100 yards, but if it does, perfect. But there are those plays, excuse me, that are designed just to get what you need to get a first down. The Jets aren't executing those. Then, when they are executing plays, they're getting called for penalties. Again, undisciplined. Okay? I don't know if in practice you could practice not holding. I don't know. I know when we go to training camp, there is NFL refs on the field. They will throw flags. They will, uh, you know, officiate the game or officiate practice according to game time rules. Um, and then there is the talent you have on the field. And right now, our weakest link on this team is the offense. To be more specific, you have the offensive line and the quarterback. call them 1A and 1 because I think as the offensive line goes, the quarterback goes. And as the quarterback goes, the offense goes. Okay? And you don't have any defenses that right now will say, put everybody back. Zach Wilson's going to beat us with his arm. Even though he has an arm that could throw a laser, it's not going to happen. So they're stacking the box. So you have Brees Hall, you have Dalvin Cook. Michael Carter was released this week. Okay, so he's gone. A fan favorite. He didn't do much this year. He was very vocal on the sidelines. There was an uproar on Twitter about Michael Carter going. I mean, listen, I would have saw Cook go before Michael Carter. But again, is Cook something that has to do with, Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. There is so much going on with this team that you could read into. Conspiracies, I hate conspiracies, but it is what it is. So you force Zach to throw the ball. He doesn't have time. You force, you stack the box, and he, instead of throwing the ball because there's no time, they run the ball and they get stuffed. So until this offense could keep the defense guessing on their toes, keep them, maintaining an equal attack, this offense is not going to go anywhere. And you saw it Sunday night. And I hate to revisit that game because that game was just a mess. But you saw it Sunday night when Zach started making passes and making plays. The defense then stopped stacking the box and started playing the pass a little bit more, and then you were able to run the ball. Then you were able to do your play fakes. So everything goes hand in hand. It's just a matter of time before I think there's a rebellion. The players in the post-game Sunday were very out of it, and they were very animated too. Sauce Gardner said something about playing complementary football, and that Robert Saleh holds the defense to a very high standard. Garrett Wilson, we have to play better. We have to go out there and score. I'm tired of losing like this. Zach too. Zach, was accountable. But again, I think this starts first of all with the coaching staff. This is an undisciplined team. This is a team that takes a tremendous amount of penalties, and it has kicked them in the ass. The play calling. Nate Hackett was brought here because he was offensive coordinator for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers came out and defended Nate Hackett this week and said, "I want 2 MVPs under that program, under that offense that he calls." But he's not the quarterback that Zach Wilson is, and Zach Wilson's not the quarterback that he is. So, you could have a brilliant, and I'm not calling Nate Hackett brilliant, offensive coordinator and game plan put up there, but if you don't have the players that can execute these plays, it doesn't matter. You could call a game that the Patriots would call for Tom Brady with Zach Wilson, and unless you have the talent, and I'm not even talking Brady's talent, the talent on offense or talent on the offensive line, it's not going to work. So it is very frustrating because you go back 12 weeks, 14 weeks, and this team was ranked in, I think, the top 10. They were favored to go deep into the playoffs. There was some doubters. There was doubters on Saleh. There was doubters on what Aaron Rodgers could really do with this team, and the offensive line. And it's now 21-13 Ravens over the Bengals. So they're keeping it close. But you had that excitement of we're going to have Aaron Rodgers run out with this offense. He's going to make Garrett Wilson, look like Rice in Montana. He is going to make Brees Hall, look like, pick a running back, Marshall Faulk. It's just, but him going down really dampened this season. And I hate to go back to that, but the team was built for him to win now. Okay. My letdown, my emotions, my disappointment is this team has been in every game on paper, every game except for the Cowboy game. Okay? And if Sauce Gardner doesn't drop that pick six, who knows how that game goes? But that is the only game. Okay, I put on Twitter the other day the only two losses that I accept as being losses by being outplayed was the Cowboys and the Chiefs game. And then somebody said, well, the Chiefs, we got screwed with the refs. But still, it should never came down to the refs. We've been in every game. The same way we've been in every game, we could have lost every game. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So to make you want to bang your head against the wall, okay, after you go, and I said this last week, the Monday night debacle against the Chargers, you go the whole week, okay, and they say they're going to open it up for Zach, and so then you go the whole week, you go to all of Sunday to Sunday night, you're in a primetime game, you wait up for that game, you're up to 11:30 watching them, and you see them lose the way they lose, okay, and now you watch it Monday night, and you say Denver playing Buffalo, Buffalo's going to bounce back, and Buffalo loses, okay, on a sequence of plays that are just ridiculous, and it brings them with a game above the Jets. So it's almost like now this week is so huge, and the Jets have already beaten the Bills, of course, in week one, but can they go up to Buffalo where they haven't won in years and beat this team? I think the last time they beat Buffalo was 2019. Or it was actually 2020. It was January 2020, but it was a 2019 season, I believe. I think, or it was the last weekend of the season, 2019. It was just before COVID. And it was a miserable, rainy game. But can they step up? And it seems like on games that you don't expect them to win, they step up. But I really have no faith. And I texted that tonight. I tweeted that tonight. It sucks when you don't have any faith in your offense. Because if our offense puts up points, we win just about every game this year. And now we're going to go up to Buffalo, and I don't think it's going to be a very November-like Buffalo game. You're not going to have below freezing temperatures, I don't think. I don't think you're going to have any type of flakes falling. I haven't heard anything. But now they have a game where they've proven they can beat Josh Allen. Josh Allen actually leads the league in interceptions, okay? And they're out for blood, number one, because of the way they lost last week. And number two, because of the way they lost to the Jets in week one. So the Jets walk into a situation, if I said to you, okay, and I know I'm rambling, but this is just me. If I said to you, before the Monday night game against Buffalo, hey, Aaron Rodgers is going to get hurt tonight. Not going to finish the game. Okay? But through the first 9 games, the Jets are going to be 4-5. They're not only going to beat Buffalo, okay? They're going to beat the Eagles, which they never beat. Okay? They're going to go to Mile High. They're going to beat the Broncos. All right, they'll beat the Broncos. They're going to beat the Giants. Okay? And week 11, the Jets will be 4-5, and they're going to be going against Buffalo in Buffalo 5-3. And if the Jets win, they have the tiebreaker now, head-to-head, straight up. And you'd say, I take it. But if you look at the box scores and you see that in the last 36 friggin' drives, the Jets have not found a touchdown, and you can pull the numbers any way you want. You can say 36 drives. You can say, 3 games. It was a giant game. We're a week from today is Thanksgiving. The last time the Jets offense scored a touchdown, okay, was 2 days before Halloween. That is sickening, okay? And that is what drives us crazy. And that is a turmoil amongst Jet fans, and that's where we're divided, and that's where you get sports talk radio, and that's where you get the analysts, and it's just ridiculous. Because if you were to tell me that Zach Wilson was starting this game, or starting this season, okay, and we were going to be 4-5 with a chance to be 5-5 versus Buffalo and have a tiebreaker head-to-head, straight up, okay, head-to-head tiebreaker is the first one they go at, I would pay to have that. And that's what we have now. But you know what? You're talking about he hasn't thrown a pick in 5 games. He hasn't thrown a touchdown, okay, since the Giant game. He's fumbled 5 times. He's been sacked. I don't know how many times. I mean, it was 8 times, I think, against the Raiders or the Chargers. I forgot which game because it's all blended into one, and it's ridiculous. I don't understand why this happens each year. But you can't talk about past years. You can't talk about um, future years. You can only talk about now. You know, and a lot of people, and I'm going to go into a little history now. And I say you can't talk about past years. I'm going to go into a little history now. A lot of people that are young, the last 25 years, think that the Patriots Jets rivalry just goes back to the flood, and it doesn't. Because for many years, both the Patriots and the Jets were horrible teams. Okay, the Patriots played in um, the old Foxborough Stadium, where the seats weren't really seats; they were metal benches. They had some very, very lackluster performances. They went through quarterbacks and coaches like the Jets did, and then they made the Super Bowl in '85, and then Parcells took over in '90. I want to say '94. I got them to the Super Bowl in '97, and then you know once Belichick went there, it was a dynasty, and it was the rivalry started when we got Parcells from the Patriots. Prior to that, head to head, the biggest games of the season were always Jets Dolphins, Jets Bills. Um, a lot of it with the Dolphins went back to the '80s with Marino and Kenny O'Brien having those shootouts, the Mud Bowl, you know, the miracle at the not the miracle at the Meadowlands. I'm sorry, they called it the Monday Night Miracle. Also, that September afternoon where Jets win 51-45. Kenny O'Brien to Wesley Walker, I think like 3 times in that game. So that rivalry was always tremendous, and the Dolphins had a big following, with Marino and Duper and Clayton and whatnot. But through the '90s, a big rivalry was Jets and the Bills. Number one, I can't remember many years where the Jets swept the Bills. I know they swept them, I think, in '94, but there was very few years that they swept them, and the Jets got swept a lot. The Bills had Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Darryl Talley, Bruce Smith, Andre Reed, James Lofton, um, you know, and they would come in, and Buffalo fans traveled well, and they would beat up on the Jets. Or the Jets always had a late game up in Buffalo, and cold, nasty, frozen weather, and the Buffalo Bills were made for that weather, and they would beat up on the Jets. There were a few times when the Jets did beat the Bills. I remember they clinched the '98 AFC East by beating the Bills up in Orchard Park. Um, they beat the Bills. Um, I'm trying to remember the game with LaDainian Townsend just running all over them in Buffalo under Rex. Um, they beat the Bills last year, and I remember I said this last year. I walked out of that stadium last year. I think we were 5-4 before the bye, hands in the air, walking out of the stadium. Jets just beat the Bills. They picked off Josh Allen, I think, twice that game. Sauce Gardner had one. We won. This is it. Um, and then we lost in Buffalo in shitty weather. So there's a history there. This game is going to be, to me, a sloppy mess for both teams. Both teams have yet to show me they can play with the big boys. The Dolphins played the Bills early after the Dolphins put up points after points after points, and the Bills held them in check. But the Bills have not been the same since then. The Bills are a 7-point home favorite. That's a full touchdown. This is a 425 game, I believe, right? Just want to make sure. 425 game. It says 426. I don't know what the 26 is, but that means it'll be dark up there, and it probably will be colder than it would be at 1 o'clock. Like I said, I don't know how severe the weather's going to be, but this game, I could just, I don't want to think about the disappointment. And in the same fashion, I don't want to think about what we could do if we win this game. You know, it would be a division win. It would be 5-5, back to 500. It would be, excuse me, I believe tied with the Bills, but beating them head to head straight up. And then the following week, on a short week, Miami coming in for the first Black Friday game. I mean, it's still there after all of this, what this team has gone through. Okay? After all what this team has gone through, it's still there for the taking. I just don't think they have what it takes to take it. And listen, I'm not going to say I'm not going to watch the game. I'm not going to say I'm not going to root against. I'm going to root against them. I'm rooting hard for them. But there were teams that gave me hope that they're going to win, and there were teams that I knew they just had to go out and exceed expectations. So I don't know what to expect on Sunday. I'm just hoping not to expect to be disappointed. I'm going to pick the Jets to win. And I want to check the weather. I want to see what it says here. So the afternoon or the daytime forecast for Orchard Park is 43 degrees. It'll be a high. A couple of rain or snow showers. If you get into the evening and at night, 28 degrees, and there's a 4% chance of precipitation. During the day, it's 84%. So that field will be slick. I don't know how long that precipitation is going to last. But again, who does that favor? Last year, the Jets went in there, and if you remember, I believe Mike White started. They broke his ribs. Flacco came in. Flacco looked like he wanted to be there, like, he was going through to be tortured. And then Mike White came out and finished the game, but can never catch up. And that was the infamous Mosley jumping off sides on 4th and 1 when he went over the top. So, look at me. I mean, in the past, I'd be, chopping at the bit for this game, getting ready for them, and I'll be watching them. But this team has just beat me up this year. The emotions up and down have just beat me up, and I'm sure that I'm not the only fan that feels this way. So, what do we expect? Now, to kind of put a fire underneath their asses, the players had a closed-door players-only meeting. I don't know what that means or what it's supposed to, accomplish. From what I understand from the meeting, all the players had a chance to speak. They said they had the floor to speak and open up about what they want to say. Now, do they complain about one another to each other? Did defense complain to offense? Did offense apologize to defense? Did they all, tell Zach it's going to be okay? You got to remember, this is a team last year that wore Mike White shirts. Did they bitch about Nathaniel Hackett, and his play calling, or Robert Saleh? I don't know. I don't know where this is going. I just hope it works. And then you have your conspiracy theories, and here's another one. And I don't know how true this is, but okay. So Aaron Rodgers does wear a headset on the sidelines. He can communicate with the coaches. He just can't talk to Zach. His microphone is not hooked up to Zach's headset in his helmet. But supposedly, when the play came in, the cameras picked up on Aaron Rodgers shaking his head like, no, don't call that play. Like he didn't like it. Now, it could have been something that was said. It could have been something that they were reviewing. It could have been, just something they were talking about that had nothing to do with that play. But it just coincidentally happened that when that play call came in, you could see him shaking his head. So, is Aaron Rodgers starting to feel the frustration as well? I don't know, but I know we are. Um, and again, still have a shot, and I don't know how far this team is going to go. I really don't. Um, After wins over Buffalo and coming close against the Chiefs and beating the Broncos and the Eagles, I really thought we picked up momentum. But it seems like as much momentum as we pick up, that's as quickly as it slows down. So I don't know. I'm just very, very tired of losing. Um, I'm just very tired of the emotional roller coaster that you're on following these teams. Um, you know, and that's it. But I'm a fan, and I'm rooting for them, and I hope that they give us happiness starting with Sunday. So that's where we are now. Um, it's 21-13, I think, now in this game here. And like I said, week 11 has begun. Have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your week. Have a blessed weekend, a blessed weekend. Whoever you say it, stay safe, stay healthy. And let's watch what this team does on Sunday and see where we go. I've been saying I need football to matter through Thanksgiving. A win on Sunday and Thanksgiving is huge. So we are the takeoff. You can reach out to us through Twitter at the Jets Takeoff is our Twitter handle. You can email us at the Jets Takeoff at gmail.com as our email. We are on Instagram at the Jets Takeoff. We are on TikTok at the Jets Takeoff. And of course, subscribe to this video, YouTube. The Takeoff is the account, at the Jets Takeoff is the channel. Share it, comment on it, thumbs up, thumbs down, tell me what you feel. Subscribe to it. You'll be notified when I have videos going up. And that's it. So, like I said, have a good night. And we'll talk after the game.